Alright, gonna start this video off a little different today. Welcome back to the channel right after Christmas time, December 27th, 2023. We are sitting inside of a GMC, what would be called a Sierra Jimmy in its day. I picked this truck up with intensive purposes of a project, but could be persuaded differently, being as we've also had a couple other things come in. We're gonna do a video on this for before and after either way. So this is a 77. I pulled the title out. It does have a clean title. Might be a 78, so I better pull that just to check before I say two for sure. Classic K5 Blazer with the half removable top, not the full removable top, which changed in the 70s era. So pretty cool if you want a bikini ride around truck and two people can manhandle. When you go to the full top, that gets a little bit tougher. Now you go see the rust and be like, oh my gosh. So my plans with this truck, which may still stick to be the plans with this truck, are to do a suspension lift, upgrade all the undercarriage stuff from the chassis down, put a nasty looking set of tires and wheels on it, because believe it or not, the chassis and the driveline of this truck are great. And it is original. Now it's had a booster there and a master cylinder at some time. But look at the frame. It's got some surface rust, but it's not bad. Again, everything you see surface rust, we just cleaned it, degreased it, knocked all the stuff off. The motor doesn't even have headers on it. Original carburetor system. Very, very original with the factory air filter and everything. Somebody's painted at some point over top of that, but original inner fender well, which it does have rust, but it's not terrible. But this is a cool truck, no matter how you cut it. And if you've watched any of these bring what they bring restored, not in this condition, of course, these trucks are fetching $100,000 minimum. They're in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but they're fetching 100 when they're fixed up right. But the interior just drew me to this truck because it takes you back in time. I mean, look at that. These are original seats. Little split right there, little split right there. But look at the cool upholstery they had. Still got the spare tire mounted in the back. Top's in great shape. Of course, that's fiberglass. All the dash is complete, and of course the pad is all cracked up. Another cool thing on this era that you don't see very often, these not only had high and four-wheel drive high, these had low and four-wheel drive low, which was really cool. We thought it was really cool because if you converted the front end to locking hubs, because that's an automatic set of hubs, which kind of sucks, you convert those to where they freewheel, you can put the thing in low gear if you want to run around on the street. And I had one of this exact setup trucks, a 74, still have it. And I had half-ton rears with 44-inch tires, believe it or not. And it was a slug because it had like 355 gears, maybe 373 gears at best, when it should have had 488s or 513s. And nevertheless, if you wanted to kind of hot rod around on the road and you weren't trying to run highway speeds, you basically just lock that thing in low range and ride around. Gives you like a two-wheel drive situation. And especially if you have the non-locking hubs, which you could do that on a normal truck, but you had low and you had low lock. So pretty cool setup. You don't see that on a lot of them. Gives you that one extra position. But everything's original there. Some really old school floor mats. She's rusty. I mean, there's no two ways about it. The truck really needs a whole body. You can see how somebody, instead of fixing a clip, used their cool little duct tape skills there. But I just drove this thing. It got some gas in it and runs and drives great. It has all its trim. It has all its emblems. You can buy all the sheet metal for this truck. You can buy floor pans for this truck. And again, I don't think we're going that way. I think we're going to totally go with everything from the chassis down being extravagant and everything from the body up being ugly. I even like on this truck, I even like the steps. They're sturdy. I'm not light, and they don't even give when I stand up on them. So pretty cool. And the thing just started up and ran like a top. The guy I bought it from, he was like, man, it's been sitting. He said, but the truck runs well. I drove it and I parked it where it's parked at. It's got a hole in the muffler so you can hear that little poof, poof, poof sound. I mean, the motor runs like a top. I just went and put some fresh fuel because it had that old lawnmower, terrible gas smell to it. But this truck will really take you back in time. Really cool era. So stay tuned for what happens with this one. If it gets shoved too far back in line, who knows? It may go to a good restoration home, which is where it deserves to go, because the chassis is well worth the effort after cleaning it up. Again, to most naked eye, that doesn't impress you, but all the rust is definitely in the cosmetic area. So stay tuned for what happens to this classic Jimmy here in the future on Davis Drives.